A habit is what is familiar, and what is familiar is what has been repeated, or what you have been repeatedly exposed to, whether it be a thought, an action, an emotion, or a belief. And I am here to talk to you about how habits are created, to give you a better idea as to how to change your habits and or implement new ones into your life. So whether you adopted a habit during childhood just through watching and observing your parents having that behavior, you had to have observed them repetitively. Or whether you consciously or unconsciously created a habit that you have, you did it because you repeated that action or that thought process enough times. So what is that key word there? Repetition. Repetition is the key to creating habits. But before I continue to speak as to how to hack your habits and then how to create new ones much faster than with just pure repetition alone, let me say this, that habits are neither positive nor negative. It really just depends upon the person. Habits can be labeled as positive or negative based upon the person and whether or not that person wants that habit. And again, habits are not just actions. They're also thoughts, emotional patterns, thought patterns, belief systems, linked cues to stimuli, which I'll explain later, so don't be like, what? etc. Having a thought that you'll never get ahead in life repetitively will make that thought familiar to your brain, and therefore it will become a truth within your mind. Having a thought that then leads to a stream of similar thoughts creates a thought pattern. That thought pattern then, when repeated, becomes familiar to you. Having one emotion regularly and repeatedly leads to an emotional pattern. Like sadness can then lead to depression, or happiness can then lead to optimism. It is because this emotion sets off a stream of other emotions that it becomes an emotional pattern, and the more it is repeated, the more familiar it becomes. Linked cues and stimuli are like when the first thing you do when you wake up is grab your phone, or the first thing you do when you get in your car is put on your seatbelt, right? This action leads to this action. It's like a chain action, right? And when repeated, well, becomes familiar and then becomes stored within your subconscious as a habit. So let me now digress back to how habits are created and how to speed up the process of creating a new one and or ridding of an old one. You see, the brain does not know the difference between real and imagined. Let me give you this little example. So they had done a study. They had done a study where they had people come and run around the track, right? And then put them into a MRI scanner. Scan their brain to see which areas of the brain were lit up directly after running the track. And then they had them come back later, not the same day, like a week later, and they put them in the MRI scanner and just had them think about running on the track. Same parts of the brain lit up. A thought can create a physiological reaction within the body. An anxious thought can cause your body to respond. You might start sweating, your hands might start shaking, your heartbeat gets faster, right? You stutter, whatever it is. So if just a thought can do that, without you even being in the situation that you're thinking about, perhaps that anxious thought is about a meeting you're having next week, the brain thinks that you're in that meeting right now. Okay? So your brain does not know the difference between real and imagined. And this is where you can hack your habits. Hack your actions, your thought patterns, your belief systems, your emotional patterns, right? You can hack these things by visualizing yourself being a different way before you even be that different way. So before you stop eating sweets, you can visualize yourself eating healthy, exercising, buying less sweets, walking right past your favorite cookies in the grocery store, right? This is giving your brain the repetition, the familiarity with this action, this new habit, before you even do it. And I go much more in depth on this whole visualization process and how to most effectively create a visualization process for yourself that is personalized to you in the video I'll link right here at the top of this video. So go ahead and check that one out. But there are tons of different ways to practice visualization. One is you just simply close your eyes and do it. The next is visualizing while in meditation. Two more, which are kind of the same but a little different. One is to go to a hypnotist, and the second is to use self-hypnosis. If you're interested in how to use self-hypnosis, I have an online course that will teach you all you need to know to self-hypnotize. And you can use your visualization process while in self-hypnosis. So again, what this does is it creates repetition and familiarity. It creates repetition and familiarity to your brain before you even begin to do your change or your new habit in the real world. So it gives you that momentum before you even start, and it makes it easier. So I hope you got something out of this video. Let me know down in the comments below what you took away from this and whether or not you are going to practice this visualization technique to hack your habits. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.